If this story stirred something in your heart, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to Revenge Forge, where every story reminds us that pain can lead to power. Her heels clicked on the hardwood at 3 a.m., but they weren't coming home to me. I stood frozen in our hallway, her phone's glow revealing a text. "Can't wait for you, Shelby." That was the moment my marriage turned to smoke. My name's Chad Vernon, and I'm a 41-year-old logistics consultant at a supply chain firm in Savannah, Georgia. Life was a tight ship. Shelby, my wife of 10 years, was a 33-year-old event planner with a laugh that could light up a room. We had a Craftsman bungalow in Ardsley Park weekend sales on Tybee Island, and a shared love for smoky bourbon at dive bars. My firm managed $40 million in contracts, pulling in $145,000 a year for me. Shelby's events business netted $75,000, enough for her to buy vintage dresses and for us to plan a Tuscany getaway. No kids yet, but we talked about it, names tossed around over coffee. Our friends, guys like my wingman Luke and Shelby's confidant Mara, saw us as the couple who'd cracked the code. Solid, unshakable, until the seams started to fray. It began like a whisper. Shelby's client dinners ran late, her perfume heavier, her kisses distracted. Her phone, once an open book, now stayed locked, buzzing at strange hours. "Just work," she'd purr, trailing her fingers down my arm. I bought it. She was my Shelby, bold, loyal, mine. But doubt is a slow poison. Her smiles felt rehearsed, her stories too neat. She'd slip out for meetings in heels that screamed trouble, not business. The first shock came 4 months ago. I was finalizing a $3 million shipping contract, eyes blurry from logistics charts, when Shelby texted she'd be late, another venue walkthrough. I got home at 9 p.m., the house dark, her Jeep gone. Odd. I called. Voicemail. At 11 p.m. she breezed in, lips glossy, hair tousled. "Client drinks ran long," she said, her voice like velvet. Her breath carried gin, not her usual rose. I nodded, ignoring the knot in my chest. "Work," I told myself. "Just work." But the knots tightened. She started wearing lingerie. I didn't recognize red silk, not my taste. Her purse held a hotel keycard I'd never seen. Once I caught her whispering into her phone, "Not tonight, he's awake," before hanging up fast. "Who was that?" I asked, calm. She laughed too sharp. Mara, venting about work. Her eyes didn't meet mine. I let it slide, but sleep became a ghost. Luke saw it first. We were at a dockside bar, waves lapping beers cold. "Shelby's acting weird," he said, voice low. "Saw her at a rooftop club last week, cozy with some sharp-dressed guy. Didn't look like planning." My jaw clenched, but I waved it off. "She's networking." Luke raised an eyebrow. "Networking doesn't look that close." His words stuck a hook I couldn't shake. The dam broke on a stormy Wednesday. I'd left the office early, rain pounding Savannah's cobblestones. Shelby was at a client pitch. Her laptop sat on the kitchen island, a rare mistake. I wasn't prying, not really, but a notification pinged. From Bradley Coulson. Subject tonight. My pulse spiked. I clicked. "You're a fire, Shelby. 8 p.m., the Drayton. That dress kills me." The world tilted. Shelby. The Drayton. I scrolled, hands shaking. Emails flirty, raw, stretching back months. Bradley Coulson, 38. A hospitality mogul with a $20 million portfolio and a shark's charm. Photos Shelby in his penthouse, her lips brushing his cheek. One line seared me, "Chad's too caught up in roots to notice. This is ours. My wife, my life." A lie. I didn't yell, I didn't break anything. I saved the emails to a drive, my heart a drum, and locked it in my safe. When Shelby got home at 10 p.m., rain-soaked and glowing, I played the part. "Rough night?" I asked, voice smooth. She nodded, kicking off her heels. "Yeah, clients are demanding." I smiled, but inside I was a furnace, rage, hurt. And something sharper. Resolve. The next week I became a ghost in my own life. I watched her every move. Her laughs were too bright, her excuses too polished. I dug into Bradley. His LinkedIn painted a hustler, smooth, ruthless, the kind who'd close a deal and steal your soul. I checked Shelby's bank app, $2,500 in unexplained transfers, small enough to miss, big enough to sting. To him, I wasn't sure, but I was done being blind. Luke pushed me to act. We met at a coffee shop, steam curling from our cups. "Confront her, Chad," he said. "This ain't you." I shook my head. "Not yet. I need a blade, not a fist." He grinned, respecting the fire. That's when I remembered Shelby's old work tablet tucked in a closet. If it held more, I'd have her. Late that night while Shelby was at a networking event, I booted it up. No password, careless. Her cloud synced and there it was, a folder labeled Projects, not event plans. Photos of her and Bradley at a yacht club, a jazz lounge, his arm around her waist. Captions: "You make me feel alive." Her emails to him: "I'm falling, Brad. But Chad's too steady. I'm scared." Steady. The word mocked me. I found a hotel receipt, $500 for a weekend. I copied everything, hands steady despite my rage. Anger didn't cloud me, it focused me. I tracked her. Not proud, but I had to know. One night I tailed her client dinner in Luke's truck. She parked at the Drayton, a chic hotel bar with velvet booths. Through the window I saw her with Bradley, his hand on her thigh, her laugh a knife in my chest. I snapped photos, my grip iron. I wanted to storm in, but I held back. This wasn't about rage, it was about winning. The twist hit at work. I was pitching a $4 million logistics deal when my assistant Claire buzzed me. "Someone's here, Chad. Says it's urgent." I frowned. "Who?" She paused. "Mara, Shelby's friend." My gut twisted. Mara. I met her in the lobby, her face, pale eyes darting. "Chad, I'm sorry," she whispered, handing me a flash drive. "I saw Shelby with Bradley last month. I followed them. It's bad." I took it, voice steady. "How bad?" She swallowed. "He's been in your house. I recorded it." I drove to a pier, rain drumming the windshield, and plugged in the drive. The video was shaky but brutal. Shelby and Bradley in our living room, her on his lap, their laughter filling my home. Timestamp 2 weeks ago when I was at a conference. Mara's voiceover: "I didn't want to hurt you, but you need to know." The clip ended with Shelby's whisper: "This is our secret, Brad. Our home. Our life. Defiled." I didn't crumble. I burned. I hired a private investigator, Owen, a grizzled ex-cop with a knack for discretion. Cost me $5,000, but I didn't blink. "Give me everything," I told him. He nodded. 1 week. While Owen worked, I played the perfect husband. I cooked Shelby's favorite shrimp tacos, planned a movie night, kissed her like nothing was wrong. She melted into it, her eyes soft, oblivious. But I saw the lies in every touch. Owen delivered in 6 days. We met at a diner, coffee bitter in the air. "Your wife's deep in it," he said, sliding me a folder. Photos: Shelby at Bradley's penthouse, their silhouettes in a window. Phone logs: 95 texts in 3 days. A hotel receipt, $600. And a kicker: Bradley's email to Shelby hacked from his account. "I'm closing a $10 million deal. Come with me to Miami." Chad's nothing. Miami. The word was a slap. She wasn't just cheating, she was planning to bolt. I thanked Owen, my voice ice. At home, Shelby was out, another meeting. I sat in my study, the folder, open, bourbon burning my throat. I wasn't just fighting for me. I was fighting for the man who'd built this life, who'd trusted her. The man she'd betrayed. My firm was hosting a client summit in 10 days, a glitzy event with 200 investors, including Bradley's hospitality group. Perfect. I turned their game into my battlefield. I called Mara. "You're coming to the summit," I said. "Bring your evidence." She hesitated. "Chad, this could ruin her." I smirked. She ruined herself. Next, I looped in Luke. "You're my eyes," I told him. "I need you sharp." He grinned. "Let's make 'em bleed, brother." The summit loomed and I played my role. Shelby was ecstatic, picking a ruby dress that hugged her curves. I complimented her, my smile ablaze. She had no idea. Neither did Bradley. But I did. And that was power. The summit was my war zone, and I was armed with truth. Savannah's riverfront plaza glowed under a canopy of stars, 200 investors and industry titans mingling in tailored suits and shimmering gowns. Crystal flutes clinked, but the air crackled with my intent. Shelby wove through the crowd, her ruby dress aflame, charming a client with a smile that used to be mine. Bradley Coulson prowled the edges, all sleek confidence, sealing handshakes with a predator's ease. They hadn't spotted me blending into the throng with Luke at my side. Owen's folder burned in my jacket, Mara's flash drive a grenade in my pocket. This wasn't a gala. This was judgment. Luke downed his bourbon eyes sharp. "You ready to torch this, Chad?" I met his gaze, jaw set. "They started the fire. I'm just bringing the blaze." He nodded, sensing the steel in me. Mara lingered near a palm-lined bar, her face tight, clutching a purse that held her video, Shelby and Bradley in our living room. Their betrayal caught in stark clarity. She'd done her part. Now it was time for mine. The evening played out like a high-stakes chess match. Shelby was the perfect wife, gliding between guests, her laugh a dagger I once cherished. Bradley schmoozed with developers, his glances at her too bold, too possessive. I sipped whiskey, counting the moves. My firm's summit was a showcase $40 million in logistics contracts deals like the $5 million port expansion I'd locked in last month, but tonight wasn't about shipments. It was about justice. The program kicked off. My boss, Warren Holt, took the stage touting our firm's vision. Polite claps followed. Then he waved me up. Chad Vernon, our lead consultant, has a special announcement. Shelby's eyes sparkled with pride, clueless. Bradley leaned against a bar, smirking. I stepped to the podium, pulse steady, voice like a razor. Thank you, Warren, I said, scanning the crowd. We're here to celebrate trust, commitment, the ties that bind. Shelby's smile flickered a shadow of doubt. I plugged the flash drive into the projector. The screen erupted not with supply chain charts, but with Shelby and Bradley. Emails, text photos, her in his penthouse, his hand on her waist, the hotel kiss, and that gut punch line Chad's too caught up in roots to notice. This is ours. Gasps ripped through the room. Shelby's glass hit the floor, shattering. Bradley's face drained, his charm crumbling. I kept my tone cold, precise. Some ties are woven with lies. Tonight we cut them. I clicked to Bradley's email. Come with me to Miami. Chad's nothing. The crowd buzzed, phones flashing as guests recorded. Shelby gripped a chair, eyes wide with panic. Bradley pushed toward the exit, but Luke had tipped off security. They blocked him. I locked eyes with her. Anything to add Shelby. Her mouth opened, silent. I stepped down the room, parting like a wound. Luke grabbed my arm. You did it, man. Let's go. But the flames weren't out. Outside, Savannah's night was humid, the river's scent heavy. Bradley was by his Porsche, cursing, keys slipping. I approached, steps deliberate. Running already? He spun, eyes wild. Vernon, you'll regret this. I smirked, stepping closer. Threats, that's your play. He lunged, but Luke grabbed his shoulder, pinning him. Cool it, Coulson, you're done. Bradley yanked free, glaring. She never wanted you. You're nothing. I leaned in, voice low. Then why's she still my wife? He climbed into his car tires, screeching as he fled. Back inside, Shelby was gone. Mara found me, her voice shaky. She bolted Chad. I tried to stop her. I nodded, adrenaline fading to ice. Let her run. She can't hide. I drove home, the folder and drive on the seat, my mind replaying Shelby's face, shock, shame, silence. Our bungalow was dark, her Jeep absent. I poured bourbon, the burn grounding me. The summit was my opening shot, but this wasn't over. The next morning, my phone lit up. A text from Shelby. I'm at Mara's. Please, we need to talk. I ignored it. Instead, I called Owen, my PI. Got more. He chuckled. You're a bloodhound, Vernon. Check your inbox. I opened my laptop. A new file, audio from Bradley's penthouse, caught by a legal bug Owen planted. Shelby's voice raw. This ends now, Brad. I'm done. Bradley's reply, venomous. You walk, I'll burn you. I've got your old invoices. One call and your business is ash. My grip tightened. Invoices. What the hell? I drove to Mara's, the audio looping in my head. Shelby opened the door, no makeup, eyes hollow. Chad, I cut her off, raising a hand. Sit. Listen. We sat in Mara's cramped living room, tension choking the air. I played the audio. Shelby's face crumpled as Bradley's threat rang out. What invoices? I demanded. She stared at the floor, voice barely audible. Before we married, I worked for a shady event firm. Overcharged clients, faked budgets. Bradley was their investor, pulling strings. I got out, but he kept records. Said he'd leak them if I left him. My pulse roared. Blackmail? She nodded, tears falling. I thought I could control it, then it grew. I'm so sorry, Chad. I paced, fury and pity clashing. Why not tell me? She shook her head. I was scared, ashamed. I didn't want you to see me like that. I stopped staring at her. You didn't trust me. That's worse than the affair. Mara hovered in the doorway, silent, her eyes soft with guilt. I walked out, needing space. Shelby's voice chased me, but I didn't turn back. In my car, I gripped the wheel, mind spinning. Blackmail, shady firms. It sounded like a Reddit stories plot, too wild for my life. But Shelby's fear was real. So was Bradley's threat. I needed more than her tears. I needed truth. I met Owen at the diner, grease thick in the air. "Coulson's a snake," he said, sliding me a folder. "Those invoices part of a $3,500,000 scam. He's still running it using Shelby's old signatures to dodge audits." I flipped through forged documents, bank transfers, emails tying Bradley to the firm. If it went public, Shelby could face charges. "Why drag her in?" I asked. Owen sipped coffee. "Control. She's his shield. If she talks, he's exposed. If she stays, he's safe." I leaned back, gears turning. Bradley wasn't just a cheater, he was a criminal. And Shelby, for all her lies, was his pawn. I hated her betrayal, but I saw her trap. Shame locks tighter than chains. I drove to my office, the folder heavy. Claire, my assistant, was there sorting project files. "You look like hell," she said, half smiling. I handed her the folder. "Check this. Tell me it's legit." She scanned it, eyes narrowing. "It's real. This guy's toast if it leaks." The first twist hit like lightning. Claire called at 1 a.m., voice urgent. "Chad, someone hacked our contract database. Tried to flag a $4 million deal as fraud. Your name's on it." I rushed to the office, the building dark. Claire pulled up the logs. An IP address traced to Bradley's hospitality group. He wasn't just after Shelby, he was gunning for me, trying to tank my career. If it stuck, I'd be fired, maybe sued. Claire's eyes blazed. "This asshole's playing dirty. What's the plan?" I smirked, adrenaline surging. "We played dirtier." I called Owen. "Dig into Bradley's accounts, everything." He laughed. "Your tab's growing, Vernon. I didn't care. This was personal." Owen delivered in 3 days bank records, offshore accounts, emails showing Bradley siphoning $500,000 from his firm. Enough to bury him. But I needed a stage, not just evidence. Luke had a lead. "Bradley's keynoting a hospitality conference next week," he said. "Big players live stream." "Perfect." I nodded. "Like the summit, but global." I spent days planning. Claire cross-referenced Bradley's scams with our database, building an airtight case. Mara kept tabs on Shelby, who was laying low, unaware of my next move. I didn't want her involved, not yet. The conference was my chance to end Bradley, not just for me, but for every life he'd poisoned. The second twist hit like a freight train. Mara called, voice shaking. "Chad, there's something you don't know about Bradley. He's not just a mogul." I frowned, gripping the phone. "What do you mean?" She swallowed. "He's my ex-fiancé. We split 7 years ago. He's been obsessed with Shelby since I introduced them at a fundraiser." My blood ran cold. Ex-fiancé Bradley wasn't a random lover. He was a vengeful ghost using Shelby to settle old scores. I hung up, mind reeling. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a vendetta. I didn't tell Shelby. Instead, I dug deeper. Owen hacked Bradley's old personal email, $300 for a dark web contact, and found messages from years ago, Bradley ranting about Mara's new friend Shelby stealing his spotlight. It explained the blackmail, the intensity, the Miami plan. He didn't just want her. He wanted to destroy me, to prove a point. The third twist came from Claire. She called at midnight, voice tense. "Chad, I found something in Bradley's hacked emails. He's not alone. Your boss Warren is in on it." I froze. "Warren?" She nodded. "He's been funneling $600,000 through Bradley's firm to dodge taxes. If you go down, he's clear." My world tilted. Warren, who'd mentored me, backed my deals, hosted our engagement party. I scanned the emails, Warren directing Bradley to flag my contract, using me as a scapegoat. If it blew, I'd take the fall, not them. I didn't confront Warren. Too risky. Instead, I built a fortress. Owen pulled Warren's accounts, linking him to Bradley's $3,500,000 scam. Claire secured our server, blocking further hacks. By the conference, I had a dossier. Bradley's crimes, Warren's betrayal, Shelby's blackmail, Mara's past. But I needed one more piece. I met Mara at a cafe, rain streaking the windows. "You owe me the truth," I said. "What else do you know?" She hesitated, then spilled. "Shelby tried to end it last month. Bradley threatened to leak her invoices to your firm, not just her clients. He wanted to ruin you both." The fourth twist landed like a bomb. Luke called, voice low. "Chad, there's another player. Shelby's been meeting someone else." I gripped the phone, heart pounding. "Who?" He paused. "Her sister, Jenna. She's been pushing Shelby to leave you feeding Bradley info." My mind reeled. Jenna, Shelby's older sister, the one who always seemed too close, too involved. Luke continued, I saw them at a bar. Jenna handed Bradley a USB. Looked like documents. I hung up, fury boiling. Jenna wasn't just family, she was a conspirator. I didn't confront Shelby or Jenna. Instead, I dug deeper. Owen traced Jenna's emails $200 for another hack revealing her resentment. She'd been jealous of Shelby's life, her marriage, her success. Emails to Bradley. She doesn't deserve Chad. Help me fix this. Bradley had played her, using her envy to tighten his grip on Shelby. It wasn't just an affair, it was a web, and I was the target. The conference loomed and I played my role. Shelby sensed something, her eyes searching mine, but I gave nothing away. She was out of moves and Bradley didn't know I held the deck. The morning of the conference, I got a voicemail from Shelby. Chad, I'm sorry. Bradley's dangerous, be careful. Her voice cracked, scared. I deleted it. Dangerous men make mistakes. I was counting on it. At the Savannah Convention Center, the hall thrummed with energy. 500 investors' cameras rolling Bradley's keynote set to stream live. He stood backstage adjusting his tie, oblivious to me in the crowd. Luke was by my side, grinning. Time to light him up, brother. I nodded, my dossier ready. Bradley thought he was untouchable. He was about to learn what falling felt like. The conference hall was a powder keg and I was the match. Savannah's convention center pulsed with 500 investors, hoteliers, and industry sharks, their chatter drowned by the hum of live stream cameras. Bradley Coulson owned the stage, his keynote on hospitality innovation flowing like silk, his grin a veneer of invincibility. His eyes darted, betraying the cracks. He knew I was out there. I stood in the crowd, my dossier a guillotine, Luke by my side, his smirk a silent war cry. This wasn't just about Shelby's affair or Warren's betrayal. It was about every lie, every scheme, every moment Bradley thought he could erase me. Luke nudged me, voice low. He's slipping, Chad. Hit him now. I nodded, pulse a steady drum. Claire had worked her magic with the AV team, a $2,500 handshake for access, and stood ready at her laptop in the wings. As Bradley rapped his pitch, soaking in applause, I stepped forward, voice cutting through the din. Mind if I share a counterpoint? Bradley's smile froze, his hand twitching. The organizer, a silver-haired exec named Diane, hesitated but waved me up. Keep it brief, Vernon. I took the mic, facing the crowd, cameras locked on me. Bradley shifted, jaw tight. I'm Chad Vernon, a logistics consultant from Savannah, I began. Bradley Coulson sells luxury, but let's see his reality. Claire hit play. The screen blazed not with resort renderings but with Bradley's sins. Forged invoices, bank transfers, emails tying him to a $3,500,000 scam. Photos of him with Shelby, my wife, in our home. His voice chilling from Owen's bug, you walk, I'll burn you. Gasps erupted, phones flashing as investors recorded. I kept my tone lethal. This man blackmailed my wife, framed me for fraud, and cheated his clients. Luxury. He's a lie. Chaos exploded. Bradley lunged for the mic, face red. This is slander, he's unhinged. But Claire played another clip, his email to Shelby, Chad's nothing. Miami's ours. The hall roared, brokers shouting, cameras zooming. Diane grabbed the mic. This is over. Security hauled Bradley off, his curses drowned by the crowd. I stepped down, heart pounding, Luke clapping my shoulder. You burned him alive, man. I didn't smile. The war wasn't won. Outside, Savannah's night was thick, the river's hum grounding me. My phone buzzed, a text from Shelby. I saw the stream. I'm so sorry, please let's talk. I ignored it, my mind on Bradley's last glare. He wasn't done. Neither was I. I drove to the office needing clarity. Claire was there, eyes bright. You're trending, Chad. Reddit stories is eating this up. I frowned. Good. Let it spread. She handed me a coffee. What's next? I leaned back, the dossier heavy. Warren's turn. The first twist hit like a gut punch. At 3 a.m., Owen called. Vernon, Bradley's not running. He's at a warehouse meeting someone. I sat up, bourbon forgotten. Who? Owen's voice was grim. Your buddy Luke. My blood ran cold. Luke. My brother in arms, my backup. You're wrong, I snapped. Owen sighed. Check your email. I opened my laptop, hands shaking. Owen's file showed texts from Luke's burner phone to Bradley, dated last week. Vernon's closing in. Keep me clean. A photo, Luke at a bar with Bradley weeks ago, passing a USB. My chest tightened. Luke wasn't just a bystander, he was a traitor. I didn't sleep. At dawn, I called Luke to a dockside lot, ships looming in the gray light. He showed up casual, a coffee in hand. Heard you crushed it, he said, smirking. I slid my phone across the texts on screen. Explain. His face fell, the act crumbling. Chad, listen, I cut him off, voice ice. You sold me out. For what? He looked away, jaw tight. I owed Bradley $30,000. Bad loans. He said he'd wipe it if I fed him intel. I didn't know it'd go this far. I stepped closer, towering. You knew enough. I walked away, his apologies fading into the hum of cranes. Luke was dead to me. The second twist cut deeper. Mara called at noon, voice trembling. Chad, there's more about Shelby. She's been hiding something. I frowned, gripping the phone. What now? Mara swallowed. She's been meeting a lawyer. I found emails. She's been trying to protect you. My mind reeled. Protect me, Mara continued. She's been gathering evidence against Bradley, passing it to a DA. She didn't tell you because she was scared. I hung up stunned. Shelby, the woman who'd broken me, was fighting for me. I drove to Mara's where Shelby was staying. She looked fragile, eyes red. Chad, I raised a hand. Truth. Now. She nodded, voice low. I've been working with a DA for weeks, giving them Bradley's files. I didn't want you dragged into my mess. I stared, torn between rage and awe. Why not tell me? She looked away. I didn't want you to hate me more. I paced, mind racing. Shelby wasn't just a victim, she was a player, risking everything to undo her mistakes. The third twist landed like a bomb. Claire texted at midnight. Frantic, Chad, someone's leaking your summit dossier to the press. I rushed to the office, rain soaking my jacket. Claire pulled up the logs, an anonymous email traced to Jenna, Shelby's sister. My gut twisted. Jenna, Claire showed me the email. Bradley's scam is bigger than you think. Ask Chad Vernon. Attached was my dossier with notes in Jenna's style. But the kicker, she'd added her own files, text proving she'd been Bradley's mole, feeding him Shelby's secrets only to turn on him now. Jenna wasn't just jealous, she was flipping sides, exposing Bradley to save herself. I didn't confront Jenna. Instead, I built a trap. Owen hacked her accounts, $400 for a dark web contact revealing emails where she'd egged Bradley on, pushing him to blackmail Shelby while playing the loyal sister. Her motive, envy of Shelby's life mixed with guilt. She'd betrayed her own sister, then tried to redeem herself by leaking the truth. It was a mess, but it gave me leverage. The fourth twist was a blade. Owen called at 2 a.m. Warren's not just dirty, he's desperate. I sat up, pulse spiking. What's he doing? Owen's voice was low. He's meeting Bradley's fixer tonight, trying to pin the scam on you and Shelby. I opened Owen's file, emails, recordings, proof Warren had funneled $700,000 through Bradley's firm using my contracts as a shield. If it stuck, Shelby and I would both be ruined. Warren wasn't just a traitor, he was a coward, sacrificing us to save his skin. I didn't confront Warren. Too risky. Instead, I planned my endgame. The firm's board meeting was in 2 days, a closed session with 15 execs. My stage. I spent 48 hours preparing. Claire and Owen compiled a fortress, Bradley's $3,500,000 scam. Warren's $700,000 bribe, Luke's $30,000 deal, Jenna's double-cross, Mara's past. I didn't tell Shelby. She was a wild card, her own battle with the DA unfolding. The morning of the meeting, I got a text from her. I'm testifying tomorrow. I love you, Chad. Always will. I stared at it, torn. Love after this? I didn't reply. The board meeting was my reckoning. I walked in, dossier in hand, Warren at the head, all smiles. Chad, good to see you, he said, oblivious. The execs settled, expecting routine updates. I stood, voice like steel. We need to talk about integrity. Claire patched in, remotely lit the screen. Bradley's crimes. Warren's bribes. Luke's betrayal. Jenna's schemes. The room froze, faces paling. Warren stammered, "This is absurd." I played his email, pin it on Vernon. He's expendable. The board erupted. Warren shouted denials, but the dossier was a noose. Security escorted him out, his empire crumbling. Bradley was arrested that night, his warehouse raided, his fixer flipping to the feds. Warren faced charges, his legacy ash. Luke sent a letter from Atlanta begging forgiveness, but I burned it. Jenna vanished, her betrayal public, her redemption too late. Shelby's testimony sealed their fates, 18 months for Bradley, probation for her. My contracts were cleared, my name untarnished, a promotion dangled. But victory tasted like rust. I'd won the battle, but my home was a ruin. I met Shelby at a pier months later, the river's tide steady under a fading sun. She looked different, quieter, raw. I'm rebuilding, she said, eyes steady. I don't expect you to stay, Chad, but I'm trying to be the woman you loved. I studied her, searching for the spark we'd lost. I don't know if I can, I said, voice raw. She nodded, tears brimming. I'll keep trying. For you. I walked away, her words a weight I couldn't shake. Claire became my rock, her wit a lifeline, though nothing romantic sparked. Mara rebuilt our trust over beers, her honesty a quiet anchor. I threw myself into work, landing a $6 million contract that cemented my name. At night, I'd sit by the river, bourbon in hand, replaying Shelby's laugh, Luke's loyalty, Warren's handshake. Was I right to burn it all down, to expose them so brutally? Or did I lose more than I gained, chasing justice over love? Months later, I saw Shelby at a jazz bar alone, sipping gin. She looked like herself again, strong, real. She caught my eye, offered a small smile. I didn't approach, but I didn't look away. Mara said Shelby was mentoring young planners, her business clean now. I kept building, forging a new life, scars and all. The pain shaped me, but it didn't break me. I'm still here, standing tall. What would you have done? Would you have fought, forgiven, or let it all go? You're here because this story meant something. Don't scroll away without leaving a like, a thought in your subscription. Revenge Forge is where real stories find their voice in yours.